For what feels like an eternity now, there's one question that has haunted one of England's most famous football clubs. It's a question that gets whispered around February, shouted by April, and then just cried about in May. How on earth can a team look so good, so much like a champion for so long, only to stumble right at the finish line, again and again? Well, today we're gonna get into it. We're dissecting the anatomy of Arsenal's title race agony.
You know that old saying, it's the hope that kills you? Well, if you're an Arsenal fan, you know exactly what that feels like. This isn't just about one bad run of form. It's a pattern, something that feels like it's baked into the club's DNA right now. In this explainer, we're going to investigate that pattern. We'll dig into the history, the tactics, the numbers, and the mentality to try and answer that one single, incredibly frustrating question: why does this keep happening?
All right, so to really understand the problem, you first have to diagnose the symptom. And for Arsenal, well, the symptom is a story that has become painfully familiar to their supporters. It always starts with a bang, doesn't it? Free-flowing, beautiful football. The team is just brimming with confidence, and they surge right to the top of the table. They build up what looks like a commanding lead. The fans, they start to believe. The media starts asking, hey, could this finally be the year? And then, the fade. A bad result here, a couple of dropped points there, and that once unbeatable lead just evaporates. And all that's left is disappointment. Now, here's the thing. This isn't some new problem that just popped up. Not at all. To really get what's happening with the current team, we have to look back. We have to look at the club's history. It's time to confront the ghosts of seasons past. I mean, just look at this timeline. It's pretty damning. In 2008, they had a 5-point lead in February that completely vanished after one infamous injury. In 2011, they were fighting for 4 trophies before an absolutely disastrous collapse in just a few weeks. 2016, they were leading the league in January, only to finish second to Leicester City. And of course, the most recent collapses are still fresh in everyone's mind. You see, this isn't just a bit of bad luck, it's a chronic condition. This slide really just spells it out, doesn't it? On the left, you've got the last Arsenal team to actually win the league, the legendary Invincibles. And what defined them? An unbreakable, iron-willed mentality and leaders all over the pitch like Patrick Vieira and Thierry Henry who just refused to lose. Now on the right, you've got the modern challengers. The talent is absolutely there, no question. But there's this feeling of fragility, a lack of those hardened, battle-tested leaders who can drag the team through the tough moments when the pressure is on. So, we've established the history, we've seen the pattern. Now let's put the current team's tactical blueprint under the microscope and see exactly where the cracks start to appear. From a coaching point of view, 3 key issues keep popping up. First, they rely way too much on one specific, beautiful style of play, their plan A. Second, that makes them really vulnerable to teams who figure them out, teams that sit back in a deep defensive block or hit them with a relentless high press. And third, there just seems to be a lack of flexibility across the whole squad to really change things up when that plan A isn't getting the job done. And this is the key difference right here. Arsenal's plan A is brilliant when it works. It's all about controlling the ball and intricate build-up play. But champions, they have a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C. Yeah, they can dominate possession, but they can also be ruthless and pragmatic. They can hit you on the counterattack, and most importantly, they know how to win ugly. They know how to grind out a gritty 1-0 victory on a cold, rainy night away from home. That adaptability is what separates the winners from the almost winners. Look, talk and tactics are one thing, but you know what doesn't lie? The numbers. The cold, hard data. Let's look at the evidence that proves this isn't just a feeling people have. It's a real, quantifiable collapse. Wow. I mean, just look at this. It is incredibly stark. From August to February, Arsenal's points per game average is right up there with the best of them. We're talking true title-winning form. But then you hit March, and through to May, the championship months, that number takes a massive nosedive. This is the statistical signature of a team that just can't see it through to the end. And if we zoom in even closer, the vital signs get worse. In those final crucial 10 games of the season, you can see the comparison. Arsenal's expected goals, which basically measures the quality of your chances, it gets worse for them and better for their opponents. They start missing more big chances and, this is the critical part, the number of individual mistakes that lead directly to goals goes way up. It's a complete collapse both in attack and in defense. So a huge reason why this happens is squad depth. or a lack of it. This chart shows the minutes lost by key players during that March to May period. When a crucial center back or that one-of-a-kind defensive midfielder goes down, the drop-off in quality to the backup player is just too big. Title-winning teams have world-class cover in pretty much every position. For Arsenal, losing just one or two key guys has repeatedly turned out to be catastrophic for their season. Okay, we've covered the history, the tactics, and the data. But maybe the most important battlefield isn't on the pitch at all. It's the one that's fought between the ears. Let's talk about the psychology of the chase. This quote just captures it perfectly. At a certain point, it stops being just about football. It becomes a mental block. All those past failures we just talked about, the players feel that. The pressure of trying to end a drought that's lasted nearly 2 decades, that becomes a heavy, heavy weight to carry onto the pitch for 90 minutes. And that pressure comes from absolutely everywhere. The media scrutiny gets more and more intense with every single dropped point. That dreaded bottler label starts trending on social media. The immense, desperate pressure from a fan base that is just starved for success builds and builds. And always, just looming over everything, is the shadow of all those other collapses. It creates a perfect storm of psychological pressure that's incredibly difficult to play through. Okay, so after that pretty tough diagnosis, where does the club go from here? What's the cure? What is the prescription for glory that finally breaks this painful cycle? Well, based on everything we've looked at, it really seems to come down to a pretty clear 3-step plan. Step 1 is about recruitment. You have to sign truly elite squad depth, especially a world-class striker who can just win you a game on their own. Step 2 is internal. You've got to cultivate and empower leaders on the pitch who can manage the game's psychology in those high-pressure moments. And step 3 is tactical. You have to evolve beyond just Plan A and develop a reliable, effective Plan B for when the going gets tough. And let's be realistic here. Achieving all of this requires some serious investment. This number? This is the kind of net spend a team like Manchester City has committed over a 3-year period to build their incredibly resilient, world-class squad. To compete at the very top, you don't just need smart planning. You need significant financial muscle to buy the kind of depth that stops one single injury from derailing an entire season. So that's our breakdown of this long saga. We've looked at the history, the tactics, the data, the mentality, the whole thing. But now we really want to turn it over to you. After seeing all this, what do you believe is the single most important change Arsenal has to make to finally lift that Premier League trophy again?